What is up, guys, and welcome to my 1 month anniversary video. I know it's a bit late. I've been technically live streaming and doing videos for about a month, over a month and a half now actually. So I know it's a bit late. So as soon as I post this video, another one is going to be followed by very soon. But yeah, I just want to do this really to kind of show you guys my progression, also for myself, so I can kind of map out what I do month by month and then go back and compare it to see if I'm going in the right direction or maybe I need to change some things. But also this may serve to help some other small content creators out there that are thinking of starting or have already started and want to kind of compare their fundamentals of how they do things to how I maybe do things or how other people do things. And on today's video, I'm going to go through mainly YouTube analytics and talk a bit about myself and what I do and what I've tried. And from there on, you have the basics of, how I run things and how I do things for when I do month 2. Right, guys, so coming over to the channel analytics, we're going to go over everything now, the general of the channel, to be honest. We're going to go from the end of May to the end of June. So it's just a little bit more than a month, but because we started in the end of May, that's how we're going to do it. But yeah, as you can go ahead and see on the channel, we have 2 types of views. I don't know why. We have 2.7 and 2.8. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments why we have 2. I don't know. But we are going to go ahead and look at these 3, okay? Because the watch hours and the subs are all based on the views here. So that's why we're going to look at these 3. If you go ahead and look on the screen now, you have 2.8k views for my first month. That is, to be honest, quite solid. It's not great. It's not bad. It's good, to be honest. In general, it's really good for my first month. But I will say that from these 2.8, we have a whopping 376.7 watch hours. Now that, on the other hand, is crazy. Not gonna lie. Like, from somebody that's just starting up, most of the people just click on your video once and watch it a little bit and leave. So there's not really much watch hours gained. So 376 is really good, to be honest. Don't forget the 0.7, everything counts. But as I said, that is really good. I have a feeling it's due to my streaming, because when you upload a video, you only have like 20 to 30 minutes normally. A normal video is like 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes even less. Where with a live stream, you are looking at like 3 hours minimum, Some are like 5-6 hours and even more in some cases. So you have some like really long live streams. Of course, with a really long live stream, there's a lot more watch hours to be, for a viewer to watch. So I think that's a reason why we have also more watch hours. Why I have more watch hours is because of streaming. I think the same can also be said from my subscribers, because I have 62 subs. So as I said, I come from 0. I didn't have any audience and I got 62 subs. That is crazy, to be honest. I don't know how I've done this, but as I said, I think it has something to do with the live streaming, because I can be a lot more interactive with my audience. Somebody new comes in, they can, I can ask them how they are, how they're doing. I'll try and remember their names, There's a lot of talk between us, there's a conversation. I can be a lot more engaging with my fans, where with content, it's not always the case. It's not as engaging. Uploading a video is not as engaging as streaming, because you're there in the moment, you're live. Of course, I do think if you're really good at making content, really good at editing videos and everything, then yes, you can be just as engaging with your audience as I am streaming, or as any streamer really. If you're really good at doing it, then you can make it. But as I said, I think 62 subs is also good due to streaming. So in general, this is a good performance. I do believe that if I was to make videos, because I said I do both, but if I was to dedicate more to videos than I am to streaming, I think the view ratio would be about the same, more or less. But the watch hours and the subs, I reckon, would be a lot less. Definitely. Like, 376 is really good. I reckon I would have a lot less watch hours and a lot less subs. Right. So, coming over to the channel content now, we're going to go over the 3 different categories of content. Videos, shorts, and live. I've been doing a bit of everything. So, I'm going to go over everything I've done. As you can see, videos have not been too good for me. I've only uploaded 2 videos in June and 1 in July. So it's not been very successful. My normal view ratio is about 30, as you can see. But I will say with this one, I did 83. There's something different about this video, though. I will say this is Quarantine Zone, so it's quite a new game. But when I uploaded this, it was in its peak, if you understand what I mean. So it was on TikTok, it was on every social media you can think about. Big YouTubers were recording videos of this, and it just blew up. So I think I caught onto it quite early, and that's why my video did more than double the amount of views I normally get, as well as likes almost. So I think with this one, it was a special case. I will have to, test this theory a bit more by uploading more videos. But I do think this is the case because as you can see here, it's 35 and 30. So I do have a feeling this is because of that. A similar thing happened to me in the past when I was dedicating myself to YouTube. As you can see here, I have a bunch of videos. My phasmophobias were like 200, 180, and then they plummeted to like 40 when I tried something else. A similar thing happened here, 229 phasmophobia, then it plummeted to 18. So a similar thing happened with me in the past. Phasmophobia was popular at the time, and that's what I did. I don't really want to talk about the past too much, we're talking about this month, but I'm just saying that this could be the reason why I have more views here. Of course, this is something I'm going to have to test by uploading more. If I still get around 30 odd views, then yes, it's because it was the most popular thing at the time, and uploading what's new and what's popular could get you more views. Going on to the shorts, there's not really much I can say about shorts. They get you, more than your average views, as you can see, 294, 130, 133, 333. And here's this theory I've been telling you again. I got 1,259. So that, again, is Quarantine Zone. It was popular at the time. It was blowing up. It was a new trend. I think that's why I got more views. Again, it also shows up on the shorts. But in general, shorts will always land you over 100 in general. But, I will say this about shorts, though. You will get a lot of subscribers from shorts. The only problem is they're not loyal. And by what I mean by loyal is a lot of these people that subscribe from shorts will probably never ever come back to see your content. Wherewith, if somebody subscribes from your stream or from your video, is because they enjoyed your content and they want to see more of your content. Where these people just subscribe because they thought your short was funny, or they clicked the button by accident as they're scrolling through the shorts. So it's not really great to upload shorts. The only thing I would say is if you got the watch hours to be monetized, or because you want to unlock super chat and all that stuff, if you got the views but you ain't got the subs, then yes, go ahead and start spamming a bit of shorts out there. You will gain a lot of subs. Right, so going into my lives now, we are going to scroll down to June. So let's scroll all the way down. So as you can see, here in June, I uploaded 6 Rocket Leagues. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6 Rocket Leagues. So this also created a little bit of a problem. It's not a problem for me because this is something I wanted to do. But basically by uploading 6 of the same thing back to back, it basically turned my channel, in this case this is Rocket League, the game is Rocket League. This turned my channel into a Rocket League channel. So, as you can see, I was doing 40, 45, 74, 34, then it went up to 60. So it was slowly growing. Then I did 136, so it was going up and up and up. And I reckon if I continued doing Rocket League, I would have continued growing. But what I did is I uploaded something different, a different game, and it flopped. So it went from 136 to 67. So that wasn't good. And it also made my next Rocket League not do so well. As you can see, 78. Then I uploaded the same game again, Repo in this case it flopped even harder, so it only did 43. So I thought to myself, I could just do a bit more of Rocket League to keep my audience engaged, but I will still try other stuff. So as you can see, it went from 43 to 63, okay. Then from 63 to 93 views. So now it went up a lot, that's almost 100. And then the problem is I did the same thing again. I streamed a total different game than Rocket League, and it flopped. 52. from 52, my next Rocket League did bad as well, 61. Then as soon as I do 2 days of Rocket League, it seems to boost again because it went from 61 to 193, almost 200. And then what did I do? I did the same mistake again. I streamed a different game and it just flopped. It did 33. So what I would say, I don't really want to go into more, but look, after the 33, we did one more in June and it did almost 100 again. So I will say something that a lot of my audience here are now Rocket League, and it's probably due to these 6 videos I'd streamed back to back. So there's one thing I would say that in my case, for gaming related, it's always good to focus maybe to 1, max 2 games and build up an audience with those games until you have such an audience that you can try other games. Because as you can see, I did a lot of Rocket League, and when I tried a different game, it just flopped. Like, you don't need to tell me, you can just see it with the analytics. It just flopped. Rocket League did a lot better as soon as when I carried on. It flopped again as soon as I did another game. As I said, this is probably due to me uploading 6 streams back to back of Rocket League. Maybe if I did some 2 different games at the same time, it might have been a different result, or maybe not. So my personal recommendation on this is, if you're going to do gaming, at least with gaming, vlogs, it may be a different thing, or any other content might be different. But at least with the gaming side of it, I recommend sticking to 1 game and 1 game only, max 2. Build an audience with that, and then you can maybe try a few other games. But always come back to that other game. Like, as I said, it's currently end of July now, so I will be uploading month 2. I've only just started maybe trying other games, and in month 2 you will kind of find out how that does. But as you can see here, YouTube Studio is giving you the analytics of the content analytics, and it doesn't lie. You can see it in front of you. From last Rocket League video was 136, then it went down to 67. Then we went back to Rocket League, almost 193, flopped to 52. Rocket League again, 193, it went down to 33. So YouTube Studio does not lie. The analytics here just tells the story, So I do recommend trying just 1 or 2 games and building up your audience with that. Alright guys, so going a bit more into detail now, I think it's very important to talk about the channel. And what I mean by the channel is like what I've tried, what's worked for me, and of course what hasn't, what stuff I failed at. As well as like the little tips and tricks that I've tried, that I personally recommend, and this comes from, of course, experience. So going into that, let's go start off with tips. So going into tips, I think the number 1 thing I would highly recommend is to know what your channel's about. In my case, it's gaming because I'm passionate about it. I think most people, when they make a channel, they know what they're going to make as content. But I think it's very important to just sit down for a bit and think about what you're going to make it about, what videos you're going to upload and everything. Because I think it's important to do something you like, something you're passionate about, not something that you're just doing it because it's popular. It might make you famous. I don't think that's the right way to go. But as I said, personal recommendations. So, going ahead with my second tip, guys, that I do really recommend is doing your research. So as you see on the screen right now, there's a bunch of videos about small content creators. This is something I really recommend for you guys to look up. Tips, tricks on, how to get out of being a small content creator, how to make better videos, 5 tips for content creators, things I wish I knew as a small content creator, those types of videos. Like, as I said, you can see on the screen, I've got a bunch of them. There is thousands of videos out there just the same. Of course, I wouldn't recommend videos like this that are about how to make money on YouTube. They're not what you want to look at. That's not what you want to focus on probably with your first month. You're just still trying to get out there. You're trying to grow audience. But like there's loads of videos. How to get out there with a small content creator. That's the type of videos you want. How to grow your YouTube channel from 0. 3 tips on how to start content creator. It's now easy, to start YouTube. These are the videos you want to look at, and that I personally recommend. As I said, there's thousands. You can go down the list. Also, these ones I also recommend. My first month on YouTube, analysts, mistakes, reflections. This is stuff like this is basically the video I am doing right now, to be honest. This is the stuff I really recommend. As I said, I have done this. I've gone through loads of videos before I started recording, before I started streaming. I've even gone ahead and seen tips and tricks for streaming as well. And as I said, I use this. A lot of stuff that I've seen, I apply to my uploads, to my streaming. One of the biggest things that I use from these videos is one of the tips that I received from, you know, not being silent during a stream or during an upload, to make sure there's always engaging content. Because imagine you're a new person, you clicked on this streamer to go and see him, and it's your first time ever watching one of his streams, one of his videos, and there's a lot of awkward silence. You don't want awkward silence, so maybe tell a story instead of being in silence, or talk about your day or what you've done, maybe about another game you played, or engage with your audience and talk about them, ask how their day. So there's never that awkward silence, you know? So for my third tip, I think it's very important to be yourself. As I say, I have ADHD, I have too much energy, I'm bouncing around this place, you know, I'm banging the table, I'm banging the chair, and my audience love me for who I am. So I think it's very important to be yourself, because then the audience fall in love with you, you know, they appreciate who you are, they like you, and then it doesn't really matter afterwards, like whatever video you do, whatever content it doesn't really matter, because they are there for you. So as I said, I also think it's very important to be yourself, not just because of the content relation, but also you will get tired of being someone you're not. If you're trying to be more elegant, you know, look more like someone more impressive because you're trying to, I don't know, impress the audience or whatever, I think you are going to get tired of being someone you ain't very quickly. And so that's why I recommend just be yourself, be comfortable, because hopefully you're in this for the long run as well. Right guys, so going on to tips and tricks real quickly, I'm going to go over the things I've done and that have helped improve my content so much. First thing is webcam. Having a face to the voice that your audience normally hear has improved my content a lot. The audience are more engaged, the content is a lot better. You know, they apart from they can put like a face to the voice they normally hear, they can also see your face expressions, the way you react to funny moments, the way you react to scary moments, as well, like stuff you don't like that disgusts you. They can see the face expression, they can see the laughter, you know, they can see a lot within your face that they can't see when they hear your voice, you know. So I think that helps make the content a lot more engaging and a lot more intriguing, especially for the audience. Something else that I highly recommend, and this comes with a webcam as well as my second tip and trick, and that would be an interesting background. As you can see, I've got like figures, I've got painting, I've got fish. You know, all this helps also keep the audience more engaged. They like what they see. They ask questions about it, like what fish do you have? What characters are they? Are these paintings, what are they about? Have you painted them? This can also be said for this is especially more for live stream, but it also applies to videos. Right guys, there's not really anything else I can really say or talk about. There's no more tips and tricks. As I said, it's my first month. I'm a small content creator. As I go into my second and third month, I'll have a lot more that I've tried, a lot more tips and tricks I can give you, and what's working, what's still working, what isn't working anymore. You know, there'd be a lot more I can give you guys. But with that said, if you just tuned in today and you made it to the end of the video, why don't you go ahead, drop me a like. And if you are a small content creator or anybody out there that's looking to maybe start a channel or grow on YouTube, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button, and in the comments talk a bit about yourself, and we can all go ahead and help each other out, because I think it's very important for us to all help each other out to grow. And with that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.